Hey guys, welcome. I felt pulled to give a brief teaching on wretchedness, like just this overall feeling of wretchedness in the system. And I'm sure that's just like you can feel into like what wretchedness is for you. So many times when we're in a dark night, just pure wretchedness is overwhelming us, or like the wretchedness of a deep heartbreak, or deep disappointment, or just the wretchedness of like old buried trauma coming up, and just almost that disgust, that ugh, like just the feeling of shame. When shame is starting to purge from our energy field, that can really bring a feeling of wretchedness with it. So just feel into that, whatever it is for you. And I've been having so much wretchedness in the system these last few days. Um, and I was laying in bed just now in a meditation, and I was feeling that I need to speak to this experience I had where I finally just allowed myself to become the wretchedness. It's like if there's wretchedness in the system and we're trying to be joyful, we're reaching for a different state, if we're trying to be whatever it is, happy, anything other than wretchedness, it's like the suffering is going to become tremendous. Like if we're trying to be happy, but there's wretchedness in the system to be felt through, we're going to really start to feel a lot of suffering intensely. And this is beautiful because this wretchedness is bringing us into the present moment. It's burning away all those parts of us that need to feel a certain way, that have an attachment to a certain feeling. It's like really burning all of that away. And you'll notice when you stop reaching for something else and you just allow yourself to be the wretchedness, to be that feeling, that even that could be that agonizing feeling when you let go of trying to be anywhere else and you just become one with that sensation. That's when a sense of real peace, I want to say, will arrive. There's still that feeling, but there's no more suffering anymore. There is this old saying that you're going to experience pain no matter what. Pain isn't really a choice in the human experience. But suffering, a lot of Buddhists will say, suffering is a choice. And we choose to suffer when we resist what is. And sometimes there's just going to be so much unconscious aspects of us, so deeply, you know, so deeply unconscious that we can't really stop them from resisting. So sometimes I really feel in my heart that we don't have a choice to suffer either. Like sometimes we're just going to feel pain and we're going to suffer. But eventually what starts happening as your consciousness raises, you're more and more able to become one with whatever's arising because you're more and more oriented with awareness itself. And awareness doesn't look at a wretchedness and say, ugh, I don't want that. Awareness doesn't mind wretchedness. It doesn't mind agony. It doesn't mind shame. So no, when there's wretchedness in the system and you're trying to get somewhere else and you're resisting it and you're fighting it and you're suffering it, know that that's not actually you, that's the mind that's suffering it. That's the egoic mind that's suffering it. And it's beautiful because the more the egoic mind suffers, the more we're kind of forced through pressure to grow beyond egoic mind. It's like the divine mother, she'll just kind of corner us with suffering and wretchedness and pain. And it will become so intense that we'll have no choice but to let go of egoic consciousness. And egoic consciousness says, this feels good, I want to feel this. This feels bad, I don't want to feel that. Egoic consciousness is really rooted in trying to feel pleasure, seeking pleasure, and avoiding pain. But at a certain point on the awakening journey, we are forced to go beyond that. We're forced to orient with awareness itself. And once we become more deeply immersed in awareness itself, then wretchedness can arrive in the system, can start showing up very intensely. I've been having very intense wretchedness recently. But I've also been finding there's this movement of if I just stay right with the wretchedness and I don't move an inch this way or an inch that way, if you can feel this, if you just stay right with it, there's no suffering there. There's peace. You could almost even say there's like a flow there. Because there's a oneness there. You've become the wretchedness. So it's the separation that causes all the suffering. It's the wretchedness is here and I'm the one feeling it and I don't like it. That's what causes suffering. It's like wretchedness is here and I just want to escape it. That feeling I always avoid feeling, let's distract and not feel it. That's the suffering. But if wretchedness is here and you just become one with it, then there's no suffering. And the wretchedness begins to transform. And that's what the Divine Mother is trying to help us. She's trying to bring us into that state of oneness with whatever is.